Around the World in 80 Days, Chapter 10. Meet Kiyomi. Fog was smart to trust Passepartout. The resourceful rodent scampered away faster than a mouse on a cheese hunt, and soon returned with a big smile on his snout. "I found something," he cried, waving for Fog and General Cromartie to follow him. A moment later, the three mice found themselves standing in front of an enormous Indian elephant. "Allow me to introduce Kiyomi," Passepartout said. "Fabulous job," said Fog without twitching a whisker. Now they just had to persuade the owner of the elephant to sell it to them. At first, Fog offered him 600 pounds, then 800, and finally 1,000. But the old Indian mouse resisted, holding out for even more money. "Be careful, Mr. Fog," whispered General Cromartie, pulling him aside. "You can spend a mountain of money here." Fog assured the general that he knew what he was doing. Finally, he bought the elephant for 2,000 pounds. When Passepartout saw him hand over the stack of money, he felt dizzy. "Cheese and crackers," he exclaimed, pale as a ball of mozzarella. "I didn't realize that traveling in India would be so expensive." Fog, always a gentle mouse, offered General Cromartie a ride to Calcutta. Then he hired a young guide to lead the elephant. The four rodents set off. General Cromartie, Fog, and Passepartout sat inside an enormous basket attached to the back of the elephant. It wasn't a very comfortable trip. With every step the elephant took, they were tossed from side to side. They were a bunch of rattled rats. After traveling through the forest all day, they finally stopped for the night and camped in a clearing between the trees. General Cromartie lit a fire for cooking and for keeping the tigers away. Squeak! After dinner, Fog, Passepartout, and General Cromartie covered themselves with blankets and fell asleep around the fire, while the guide stayed close to the elephant. After breakfast the following morning, they set off again. Everything was going fabulously, but suddenly they heard sounds in the distance. The guide made the elephant stop, and everyone listened carefully. The sound became louder and louder. It sounded like sad wailing. The four mice peeked through the thick bushes and saw an incredible sight. A long line of rodents would among the trees. There was about 50 mice dressed in tunics and turbans. They followed an enormous wooden cart carrying the motionless body of a rodent. The guide gasped. "That's a Raja, an Indian prince," he exclaimed in a whisper. "You can tell because he wears a gold robe and a special turban." "It's a funeral procession," General Cromartie whispered in Fog's ear. "I've seen many during my time in India." After getting a closer look, the guide told them that the body of the cart belonged to the Raja of Buchanhan, a region in central India. But that wasn't all. Behind the cart walked a beautiful young rodent dressed in a long fancy tunic. Her hair was wrapped in a fabulous knots, and a tiara sparkled above her ears. The rodent looked extremely unhappy. "That's the late prince's wife," the guide exclaimed. "Now that her husband is no longer alive, it looks like she is being held captive by those other mice." "Poor rodent," Passepartout noted. "That's terrible. I wish there was something we could do to help her." Everyone was silent for a moment before Fog murmured, "Maybe there is." Bye-bye. See you next time. And make sure to watch Chapter 11. See you soon.